And I'm meteorologist Sean Rowland. We have a beautiful sunny day across the area, temperatures reaching the upper 40s. For tonight, clear skies. That allows for a cold night, lows likely about 25 degrees. Now on Friday, we have another sunny day, temperatures a little warmer, highs in the low 50s, and then a mix of clouds and sunshine heading into Saturday, 45 to 50. From the WSNJ Weather Center, this is meteorologist Sean Rowland.
The following is a paid political program. Now it's time for Voice of an Independent Nation. And here's your host, David W. Bowen.
Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you back to the Voice of an Independent Nation. It's presently 1:05 on the 2nd, Thursday afternoon. I welcome you again back to our show. What we are talking about today is particularly politics, what's going on in our country, our state, our local communities. In going over a few things, I don't want to stay too much on one particular subject today because there's a lot going on. I will say this, that I'm a bit exhausted getting here today. We ran into some traffic and it was just a nightmare trying to get here. For some reason they got it blocked off. The engineer here also got tied up. It just gets kind of squirrely when you got a last minute. You hit that and you weren't expecting it. Not that it's that difficult to get to the station because there's multiple parallel roads to the area, so it kind of works out, but you know, at the same time, if you're not expecting it, it does affect you. I mean, I'm sure you guys see it every day going to school, and just when you're late, you always get behind that school bus that wants to stop every 5 feet, or other things where there's traffic or an accident up ahead or something like that. I mean, we all experience it. That happens. Anyway, getting on to the politics portion. Let me get back to my page. I haven't really heard much as far as what's going on. I've been doing a lot of reading and everything. It's just been kind of quiet. Nothing really dramatic is going on. Oh, I will say this. I mean, there are a couple things, but it just depends. It's not really affecting us. What's her name? Jenna Bush. She's pregnant. Just what we need, another Bush running around. But, yeah, supposedly she got married and pregnant. Just going down CNN News, I was kind of startled because there was this isn't politics, this is something, they pulled a feather out of a baby's neck. Apparently a baby ate it, and it's been in there for months, and it finally worked its way out. Started working its way out on Saturday. They seen him flame bubble, and went to the hospital, sent her back home. And the next day, something started sticking out. And then eventually the end of the feather came, and they pulled it out, and it's a feather. I mean, you got to stop and wonder, how do you get a feather inside you? But, you know, everybody, there's some crazy stuff going on out there. Let's see. What else we got here? Okay, North Korea launched another missile, and that's irritating a lot of people, including China and Japan. So they're gonna, I'm sure they're gonna be doing some talking about that one. Apparently there was a shooting in Alabama at the courthouse. I don't know much about that. Oh, Jesus. Where'd it go? Let's see. Front page stuff. They say Governor Christie's too fat to be president. I didn't realize there was a weight limit, but everything's out there. You know, a worker at the federal courthouse in Alabama shot himself in the head. Man walked into the chief clerk's office, mumbling about a will, and then put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. I don't know about that. There's nothing out there that would make me do that. Massive banks cyber attack planned. What was that I was just reading? Justin Bieber is a where does it go? Possible murder target. Yeah, everybody loves him. That's crazy. Anyway, apparently they caught a 445-pound tuna. That would make my brother happy. He loves fishing for tuna. To me, it's too much work. It's a lot easier to go to the supermarket and get a can. But to each their own. Okay, a couple people have been arrested as far as threatening, plotting to kill pop singer Justin Bieber. Oh my goodness. What's this world coming to when they're worried about a teen pop sensation? You know, it's all goofy. But let's move on. A few politics. Apparently the Republicans are just getting all goofy in up on Capitol Hill. They just can't do anything, you know. Obama's not accepting anything but what he wants, and they keep trying to push this. They don't want a high tax. They want to extend the tax credits for like 2% of the tax credits or whatever, and Obama's just not falling for it, you know, for the super rich. I say now, I mean, I'm not for taxes, don't get me wrong, but, you know, of everybody, the super rich can afford it the most. You know, middle class, lower class, you know, they're the people who cannot afford it, and they seem to be going after people 250,000 and above. Actually, I mean, yeah, I would love to make 250,000, but they are the people who are the most effective as far as getting the economy back in order, because they're the people who own the small businesses and stuff, and they're going to help, and they're going to do the investing and stuff like that. So I don't think we need to attack them. I think the super rich, like the Buffetts, the Gates, the Soros, people like that, excuse me, they're the ones that we need to be going after if we go after anybody. There is something out there, talks in the work as far as eliminating the IRS completely and just making a national sales tax. I would definitely love to see that. You know, it'd be more of a consumption tax than anything. You get charged 14% federal tax for everything you buy new. That's the good thing. It has to be new. So if you buy a used car or old house, guess what? No taxes. Just throwing that out there, something I heard as to whether it comes into reality. You know, there's so many things you hear out there. It's hard to say what comes true, what doesn't. Anyway, businesses say they hate higher taxes but will live with them or go out of business, whatever. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. Everybody, I mean, all these Obamacare things are coming in play next month. If you have any money in the banks, you may want to look for another place to put it, because as of December 31st, FDIC is no longer chartered, so they will not be insuring your money. You may want to consider something else. So if you guys have a lot of money out there or whatever, realize you got Christmas coming up within 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, 12 days. 12 days? 14th. 11 days. 13th. What's today? No, that's off. 13th. Okay, so it's 12 days. I was right the first time. All right. 12 days you got Christmas coming up, so go out there and do all your shopping or whatever. Just remember, you got taxes due afterwards. So don't forget to put some money aside. But don't put it in the bank, because you may not be insured. Anyway, what else is going on? Okay, there's a lot of closed door meetings, which is making people nervous. There shouldn't be anything closed door, but there are a lot about this stuff. There's a senator, a couple senators are leaving. One senator went to the Heritage Foundation which I guess is a good thing. I'm actually a member of the Heritage Foundation. Just see how things go. Again, they're talking about Hillary Clinton running for 2016. That's not a good thing. I thought they were done with her. Apparently, Obama met with some Korean singer, Psy. He does that Gangnam. What's that called? Gangnam.
Gangnam style.
Yeah.
Gangnam.
Yeah, something like that.
It sounded like something else. I can't say it on the air though.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too, but it's Gangnam style. All he does is jump around. It's kind of like a Korean style MC Hammer, it looks like. But apparently, back a few years back, all this guy wrote about. He was a rapper from Korea or something, but all this guy wrote about was killing our soldiers and down with America and stuff like that. And I was actually surprised to see or hear that Obama met with this guy. The last thing I want is this guy in America. He wants to kill us all. But who am I? Let's see. House Republicans are sticking with their House leader, Boehner, for the fiscal cliff. I don't know if that's wise or foolish. It's kind of up in the air. If they stick with their guns, will they destroy us all? Some people are saying the fiscal cliff that's supposedly about to happen should happen. It'll make everybody wake up and correct a few things. I look at it like this. You don't put a piece of tape on an open wound and then rip it off. It seems kind of foolish to keep aggravating something if you're going to, get it fixed as soon as possible. But again, I wasn't elected, so I can't vote on this thing. Let's see. According to Ralph Nader, the fiscal cliff is going to take guts. A lot of Republicans are up in arms because they made a pledge with Grover Norquist as far as not raising taxes, and now they want to raise taxes, and they have to vote on it. So what do? Stick with their agreement with Norquist, or do what Boehner's telling them to do? Personally, I don't think we need to raise taxes. That's just the studies I've done, but their solution to the problem is always raise taxes. Spend as much as we can, and then we'll come back and raise taxes, and the American people will take care of it. And that's not always right. It's not always good, but what are you going to do? You can't always bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You can't strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot father the brotherhood of man by encouraging class hatred. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot keep out of trouble by spending more than you earn. You cannot build character and courage by taking away man's initiative and independence. You cannot help man permanently by doing for them what they could do and should do for themselves. That's just something I came up with and seen it and thought it was a good idea to share with you people. Let's see. CNN doesn't have much to say today. They normally have a lot to say, but they're not helping me out much today. What else we got? Like I said, Christmas is 12 days away. That's, I'm still trying to figure out what happened in 1990. These years are flying by. I remember as a kid, I couldn't wait until I hit the magical age of 16. And then once 16 came, it was 18. And then 18, 21. After 21, it was all blur, because don't take that the wrong way. I wasn't a drunk or alcoholic or anything like that. I'm just saying, after you reach a certain age, you stop worrying about time. And the next thing you know, you look back and it's like, 30 years have passed. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Other people, when I talk to my kids, I try to tell them they got to make the best of every day, because tomorrow, you're going to be 40 years old sitting back scratching your head saying, what happened? You know, I don't want my kids to have to do that, especially if they made some bad choices. There's an old carpenter's thing, measure twice, cut once. It's the same way with life. Think about it. You have to think about it again, do it, and then worry about getting it done. Let's see. Let's not do world. Let's do U.S. Hold on. I got a touchscreen tablet, and the thing likes to move slow sometimes. I got 4 laptops. I got 2 desktops, and I decided to buy a tablet only because I like the convenience of it. And my son was kind of pushing that I get an iPad, and I got the tablet only specifically because it's open source. I don't have to buy just Apple products. I can use anything, and for the most part, I like it. I think for Christmas I'm going to get a iPad 2. I'm not an iPad 2. I mean iPad 3, but I'm also going to get an iPad just to compare the two and see what's good about them. And if I don't like it, my kids will always get something out of it. There was apparently, my wife said something about a judge for the Mexican Voice. Jenna Rivera, is that her name? I think she went down in a plane crash. I don't know. I heard about it. The plane crashed 28,000 feet, officials say. I don't know if she was a singer or what. I guess she was, if she was on The Voice.
Mexican singer.
Mexican singer?
Yeah, the Mexican version of The Voice.
Okay. My wife loves that show. It drives me crazy. The only good thing about it is Christina Aguilera. Let's see. I don't know if that's their way of building up ratings or what, but they tend to do that sometimes. It crashed into mountains. I guess it didn't see the mountains. Was she flying at night and her equipment failed?
There was something that happened previously with something safety related.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to read it as we're talking, and I'm not seeing what I want to see. It's not coming up. Sometimes they give you all the information in a short little piece, but then a lot of times they throw a lot of fluff in it. Moving on. I'm not seeing anything I want to talk about here. Moving on. I'm going to do an anti-commercial. What that means is I'm going to tell you of a place that I'm not getting paid for, but I found quite good. It's one of those roadside stands. I normally don't stop at them. I may stop at one if I go to the local flea market or whatever, just to get a hot dog or something. And I'm not big on hot dogs, don't get me wrong, but it's right on 40 in Pittsgrove, right by Porchtown Road. It's called Country Bob's. It's just a veteran, an older guy. He just sells out of the back of his, he's got one of those pull-alongs, and he's there Monday through Friday. Sometimes he takes off, like for Thanksgiving, took off Thursday and Friday. But he's reasonably priced, and the thing is, he donates a lot back. If you tip him, he'll give, he throws some charity. There was some veterans things going on, and he donated, a lot of hot dogs, over 1,000, 1,200 hot dogs to the organization and rolls and all that stuff. And it's supported by the tips and him and stuff. He believes in giving back. And, it's good food. It didn't give me any belly aches or anything like that, so I don't see any food poisoning with it. But, some of these places you go to, you have to watch out. I remember when I was younger, I used to work at in Center City, Philadelphia. And every day was a new adventure because we'd go to a different cart to eat at and find out, sometimes this didn't agree with you or that didn't agree with you. And over in Philadelphia, they have licensing for that. They call it L&I. And they go around and they test all that for bacteria and stuff like that. And that's good. But at the same token, do I really want to know about it? You know, if you find out a place you've been eating at for the last month has got rodents walking around and stuff like that, kind of makes you nervous. But the same way with Chinese restaurants. You have one in the area that went rogue, and the rest of them have bad names. You know, I'm big on Chinese food, so I don't want to hear anything about that. But anyway, getting back to Country Bob's, it's good, it's convenient, and it's cheap. Not cheap quality, but cheaply priced. I mean, the guy maintains a lifestyle from it, but at the same token, he also gives back. And if you've heard anything from what I've said before, I personally like to, if I buy anything, try to buy local. I try not to go to the box stores like Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart. Like, I will go to Walmart in comparison to other places because Walmart can be cheaper. But at the same token, you know, I'm limited on what I buy at Walmart or the box stores. Like, you don't go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a John Deere tractor, because what you're getting there is, you know, very cheaply made. It's still John Deere, carries the name, but for the most part, you know, it's not high quality stuff. Anything from Walmart, like I said before, it's especially like the Black Friday sales or whatever, you know, it's not the high quality stuff. They made it cheaper for Walmart to sell to you, and you're getting a better price, but at the same token, you know, it's not the high quality stuff. Basically, what I go to Walmart for is the same stuff I could buy anywhere: the Coke, the Pepsi, the potato chips, stuff like that. But then again, you have to know your prices. Another place I know, when I was doing my campaign, the place I try to give business to a local guy at Stakeouts, also in Pitts Grove on Route 40. And guy had opportunity twice to take care of our campaign, and he dropped the ball both times. Always at the last minute he came up with something, or this didn't work out, or that don't, you know, burn me once, phooey on you, burn me twice, phooey on me. And that's what happened. You know, I was so aggravated with him. But got to keep a strong face. Anyway, I don't know what's going to be happening politically the remainder of this week. I heard some things are in the pipeline. Let's see what happens. I won't find out for sure until, I'll tell you next week. You'll probably know before I tell you. But some things are supposed to be happening today that I heard over the weekend. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm kind of anxious to see exactly what does happen. You know, when it comes to politics, you know, you're both surprised and not surprised at the same time, if that makes sense. Only because you have to take into consideration who it is that's surprising you, but at the same token, you know, because of who it is, you're not surprised. You know, politicians, they're not known for their goodness per se. You know, I will say this: our Congressman Lobiano, the guy I ran against, he's definitely getting his name out in the papers all over the place. He's definitely supporting the Coast Guard, which he's always done. He's supporting the FAA, the next gen thing, which he's always done. But like I said, there's so many other things that are going wrong or that could be fixed in our district, District 2, South Jersey, that he has all his eggs in one basket, and I think he needs to spread out. And like I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to run next cycle or not, but I definitely thinking about it, only because, again, the problems aren't being fixed, and it's a shame. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, hold on. Might not be a lot of time. Hold on, though. Alright.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
What is your name, sir?
David Bowen.
I voted for you for Congress.
Okay, and your name is, sir?
Don Robinson.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. I wanted to tell you that we got to cut the spending.
I most definitely agree with you.
I mean, all the look what I don't know how old you are, but do you remember President Reagan?
Yes, I do.
Well, you see what he did, don't you? And he turned things around. I don't know what's wrong with these people, Mr. Bowen. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, they think they can spend their money. You know, excuse me. He wants to raise taxes so he can spend more money. That's all it is.
Well, that's it. We're in such a predicament that raising taxes is only part of it. You know, you can take all the assets of all the rich people, $250,000 and above, and you wouldn't even touch the deficit. You know, we have to reduce the spending, we have to increase growth, and that's where you and I come in, is because we go to work every day, we do what we have to do, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? My whole thing was I wanted to make it to where Americans were proud to go to work and then come home and have a life. Not live to work, but work to live.
Now, we don't have much time, but you said something about the banks. Does that include the savings and loans too, or?
Yeah, that includes all of them. Everything.
Oh.
Who's ever protected by FDIC. Now, I don't know how much of the savings and loans are protected by the FDIC, but the FDIC is an insurance.
Right.
And it's supposed to expire. Their charter expires on December 31st. Now, I'm not saying make a run on the banks. All I'm saying is you may want to consider what you have. If you got, like my family, a couple members of my family got several $100,000 in the bank, okay? I don't have that. You may not have that.
No,
but,
I don't.
You know, you were only... for the longest time, you were only protected up to $100,000. Then they raised it, okay? But now it's supposed to go away. That makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could have a 1929 all over.